Alright YouTube, so we are back with a subject I never thought we'd revisit, and that is the goddamn shipping wars. So a few months back, we actually did a video talking about this, and we looked at it from a legitimately unbiased perspective. You know, I don't have a red 13 in the fight, so to speak.
I'm not a rat dog.
And why I say unbiased is because I'm not on one side or the other, because that's how I feel. We're just looking at what's given to us in the games and other materials within the FF7 compilation, and for me, it's overwhelmingly obvious that Zack and Aerith are meant for each other. Now, that's not to say that Cloud and Aerith can't love each other, or haven't loved each other, haven't even maybe been in love at one point. But ultimately, if we're talking love, forever type shit, it's Zack and Aerith, and that's very simple to me. And look, as I say these things, I know it doesn't really matter, because if you're like a staunch Clarith, right, like you truly believe Cloud and Aerith are going to be together, it doesn't matter what I say, it doesn't matter what anybody says, which is why this shit's just a big fucking circle jerk and doesn't even matter, because it's kind of like politics. Like, if somebody's really in their beliefs with politics, religion, whatever it might be, like, you can't change their mind. Like, and the same thing here. Like, if somebody's truly believing one of these things, it doesn't matter what you say. There's no point in arguing, which is why it's all a waste of fucking time. Anyways, why we're here today. So, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't have the entire full context. I don't sit on Twitter, scrolling the feed, looking at drama and all this other shit. You know, I get on Twitter, post some stupid shit, tweet out one of my videos when I upload. That's kind of it. That's what I use Twitter for. What I do know, the information that I do have, is something with Kazushika Nojima, who is, of course, the scenario writer for several Final Fantasy games, but the majority of everything FF7 related. I think he wasn't the scenario writer for Dirge of Cerberus, but I think pretty much everything else FF7 related, he wrote for. His first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy VII, at least according to the Wikipedia, and I think that's important to take note of, and he's worked on most of the Final Fantasies after that, not the MMOs, not 9, 12, 13, 2, or 3, but like every other one besides those. But again, I think it's important to take note of the fact that if you are a Final Fantasy VII fan, if this is your favorite game, one of your favorite games of all time, some of the games under the FF7 umbrella are some of your favorite games of all time, it's probably because of this guy, because he's the scenario writer for everything. And this is actually something I somewhat touched on with the previous video from a few months back. We talked about, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a Clarith, if you're a Claudie, whatever you believe in, it doesn't really matter. It's not really up to us, it's more up to the devs. But even more specifically, I think almost verbatim in that video, I said, it's pretty much up to Nojima, because he's a scenario writer for everything, so what he says goes, more or less. I say that because I'm sure, like, there's some back and forth, like, it's not just whatever Nojima wants happens, but, like, even other devs cite him as, like, their source. When it comes to, like, the Final Fantasy 7 and 10 connection theory, something we've done a lot of videos about, Katase and Nomura have both, like, cited things that Nojima has said in the past in terms of that connection being true. So even those developers look to him for answers. All this build-up and explanation for Nojima has a purpose, because I think it's important for people to know that his thoughts and opinions on anything FF7 related are kind of the most important out there. Look, the subject of this video isn't really even meant to be about the shipping wars themselves. We're not trying to prove one side or the other, but if somebody like Nojima weighs in on this topic, which is what this video is kind of about, then that is probably the most important opinion in the entire world, and on the entire planet Earth. Like, if he weighs in on the topic, that means the most. Now, that doesn't mean that what he says is factual or canon, but it means a hell of a lot more than my opinion or yours. Now, hopping back to the subject matter and me not having full context, because what I have is the tweet that Nojima put out today on Twitter, and a screenshot of a tweet that I'm assuming is why he put out his tweet today. And the tweet we got from Nojima today is kind of apologetic, kind of sad, and that's why we're here today, because we have somebody that's like a shipping person replying to something he said, and kind of telling him not to confirm anything, and I guess he like felt bad about it and wanted to like apologize and stuff on Twitter, and that's where I draw the line, because I already am not a fan of the shipping stuff, right? We kind of roasted the shipping people with that previous video a few months back. This is too far. If you're going out of your way to like talk shit to the devs on Twitter, where they should be able to just do whatever they want, interact with the fans, talk about their personal life, whatever the case, like, fuck you. So here we have at FF7 Novels on Twitter, but a different at FF7 Novels, not the good one, not MJ Gallagher, my boy. This is a budget, you know, great value, Wish version of him, I'm assuming. Now, joking aside, I'm not sure who this person is. We do have some mutuals, but I've not seen them on my feed before. I've never heard of them, whatever the case. But some people do seem to know him, so he seems to be pretty known in the community, at least according to the replies on this topic. So this person replies to Nojima on Twitter and says, and obviously this is translated by Google Auto-Translate, so it's not the best quality, but says, "We apologize for the inconvenience, but please do not pair Cloud and Tifa with FF7 officially. It's very destructive to the fan base. The love debate becomes very toxic, and formalizing either side only causes division and conflict. Don't let it happen. Thank you." And this is where we're really lacking the context, because I don't know what this person's replying to. They're replying to a tweet of Nojima's, but I don't know if it's something that he said FF7 related, if he, in a tweet that's FF7 related, confirmed something about Cloud and Tifa, or if he's just replying to a random fucking tweet of Nojima's. Now, if it's the latter, dude, like, you're a real piece of shit. Like, if Nojima's just tweeting about some real-life stuff, maybe a movie he watched, food, pictures of his guinea pigs, which he posts those a lot, cutest fucking thing I've ever seen. I've never had a guinea pig in my life, kind of want to get one now. But if he's just posting about something, like, not video game related, and you come to him with that shit, like, how fucking ridiculous, bro. Get a hobby, get a life. People seem to forget that game developers have a life outside of video games. Yeah, it's their job. Yeah, it's what they do a majority of the time, but they're also just real people. They want to talk about other shit, too. It's kind of the same as a content creator, but to a little bit of a different degree, and I'm not trying to compare myself to Nojima, because goddamn, how could I? But, like, people come to me all the time with FF7 related stuff, like DMing me on social media, replying to my tweets and stuff like that, and that's fine, it's great, I love replying, I try to reply when I can, I love talking about FF7 stuff, but I'm also a real guy, I just like talking about other shit sometimes. Now, that being said, I do think he might have said something FF7 related or Cloud and Tifa related because of his tweet that he put out today that we're going to look at here in a second, because he talks about his personal, like, opinions or thoughts on work-related stuff and post-launch stuff and potentially upsetting the fans, so on and so forth. So I think that he might have weighed in on maybe the shipping topic, his personal thoughts on Cloud and Tifa, possibly confirming that. So here's the tweet from Nojima, but we're going to look at a better translation than what the auto-translate from Google can provide. So his tweet says, "I can't help but think that my personal comments about not only ongoing work, but also post-launch stuff may damage the value of the products and the enjoyment of the fans. As a result, I now think it is appropriate to keep quiet and not speak. This is my personal way of dealing with Twitter before confidentiality." So I think what might have happened here is that he voiced his thoughts and opinion on Cloud and Tifa, whether that was just randomly or maybe somebody asked him what his thoughts were on that topic and he answered, answering a fan's question, and that's when this person came along with their stupid ass reply. And I guess now Nojima feels the need to not speak on the topic anymore because it might upset people if you confirm one relationship or the other, which is ridiculous because now he probably won't answer maybe any FF7 related questions now. And who knows what information we're missing out on now because he won't answer anymore. I think it's pretty ridiculous that the guy who is a big part of what goes behind making these games doesn't even feel comfortable talking about it anymore. Like, how ridiculous of a statement is that? All because one douchebag isn't satisfied with the answer that Cloud and Tifa are maybe meant to be together. Like, that's what this all boils down to. Because of the shipping bullshit, like, maybe Nojima will never speak on the game again publicly, at least on social media. And look, as much as that does suck, like, the guy should also be able to just talk about whatever he wants to. So if he doesn't even want to talk about video games at all on Twitter, more power to him, man. Just keep giving us pictures of your guinea pigs. The thing is with this Gyrus person, or however the fuck you say their name, is if it wasn't obvious by their tweet to Nojima, they're a Cloud Jesse shipper. And that's kind of the thing here, right? With that tweet, they're like, do not confirm anything Cloud and Tifa related. That'd be upsetting. Fans don't like it. Don't confirm anything. But if Nojima came out for some reason with a tweet and said, the official canon is that Cloud and Jesse are meant to be together, this person would not have that same reply. And that's kind of the hypocrisy here, right? Because 100% they wouldn't have the same reaction because that's who they ship. That's what they want. It was also brought to my attention reading through some of the replies of this whole like ordeal going on that this person also sent multiple tweets at Nojima, so I went to their profile, looked in their tweets and replies, and read some of these. Like, Nojima's literally just tweeting about watching some show on Netflix, and this weirdo somehow made it FF7 Jesse related. This friggin' weirdo said, speaking of Netflix, include Jessie in your new series. There is still so much of her past that we do not know. How old was she when she was in the Gold Saucer? How did she meet Biggs and Wedge? How did she react to the news of her father's accident? And then follows it up with, give Jessie a chance to shine. She has long been trapped in the shadows of Aerith and Tifa. So give her a chance to spotlight and play the leading role. Especially now, so many people have come to like her relationship with Cloud. Thank you. And actually, in the middle of recording right now, looking through this dude's replies, I just tracked down his initial tweet to Nojima, and he's just replying to Nojima talking about watching fucking Netflix. This weirdo wasn't even replying to him saying anything FF7 related. Though it doesn't have the image of Cloud and Jesse, and I think he said that he deleted that initial tweet, so this might just be a recent version of that tweet, so he might have been replying to something else that Nojima was talking about. Regardless, though, with this tweet right here, right now, he's replying with fucking FF7 shipping bullshit to Nojima just want to talk about a TV show he's watching, dude. Get a motherfucking life. You're like fringing on harassment and maybe you're already past that point. Like, to leave the guy alone, dude. For your sake, for our sake, just unfollow the guy. Block his account so you can't see Nojima anymore. Leave the man alone. Like I said earlier in the video, this person seemed to have some sort of standing within the community. People knew who he was whenever he was harassing Nojima. Again, I've never heard of him. But I feel like with the harassment of Nojima, like, this has burned a lot of bridges for a lot of people. Like, the guy just wants to enjoy his life on Twitter, and you're bothering him with your stupid shipping bullshit. Enjoy your 50 minutes, my guy, because I think you're kind of done. My dudes, I think that's mostly going to be the video here. I just had to talk about this, man. I got on Twitter, I seen this stuff going on, and like I already have, like I said before, kind of like I'm on a little bit of beef, so to speak, with the shipping community at certain times because they personally attack each other, all this other stuff. When you're harassing one of the devs with this stuff, tweeting multiple times in a row to one tweet, and the guy's not even acknowledging you, like, you're fucking weird, dude. You're creepy. And the fact that the guy who's a scenario writer for pretty much all the FF7 stuff just doesn't feel like he can talk about it with his fans, with people that are fans of the games that he helps create, like, that's where it's a step too far, man. Like, the guy should be allowed to hop on Twitter, and if somebody has something FF7 related to ask him, he should feel comfortable with replying to that shit and not worry about potentially upsetting people. I've cursed a lot more in this video than I usually do here on the main channel. That's usually second channel type shit. Whatever, a little bit passionate about this stuff. My dudes, I'm going to pass it off to you guys. I'm assuming I know what your thoughts are on this, but what are your thoughts on this dude, I think it's a dude, harassing Nojima on Twitter about make Jessie the lead girl? Well, guys, that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Or instead of more defend, protect Nojima content. Turn on notifications. Follow me on Twitter, _DaveYT. I'm on Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Low Gain or leave it like Cobain.